So recently I had a video go viral. Personally, I've never had something get over 100,000 views before. Maybe you have, but for me that was a pretty big deal. Um, so I watched this video just take off and it's still going now. And I got 200 new subscribers just in 24 hours and several paying subscribers. So I'm not saying this to brag or anything. I'm saying this to show that there's an interest in what I'm doing here, like framing masculinity through this mythic frame. And also, I noticed there was this very small percentage of men who were very triggered by it because whenever something goes viral, it's also going to bring out a lot of hate, and it's going to also bring out the people who are very triggered by what you're doing. So, being like, I have like a quadruple Scorpio in my chart. So, Scorpio is about investigating things deeper. So I genuinely do love to look at problems, and I'm very interested in like the why some people are triggered by like masculinity or talking about masculinity or femininity. And I have found that there are various triggers. So the first one is that masculinity triggers some people who want the human experience to be very androgynous. Like they very much want to be in this homogenized, like same men and women are very much the same. Our brains work the same. There's people that even argue that like our brains are the same and biologically we're the same, and you can make any woman be a man and you can turn any man into a woman. Men can have babies and this and that. To me, that's all a very mental, and that's like only happening up here. There's not very much awareness on the body with those arguments. But that's a real thing, you know. There are people that live their lives like that, and their partners, they work best in a very androgynous partnership, and that's fine. You know, I don't judge that at all. Some people get triggered by it, I've learned, because historically they think about kings historically, and they think about like the world stage and politics, and in their mind they're thinking like it's tyranny and it's all about greed and it's evil. Power is evil. So there's that, which is just one dimension of the social constructs that we have. Here's an interesting one. I've heard several men saying that they don't want to be a king because they're sick of being taken advantage of by women. So they're tired of providing financially to women who don't give back, women who are needy and just kind of use them for money. So I can totally understand that too. There's a lot of men out there that feel like they've been taken advantage of for years. Like they've been in their entire marriage was like that. And now they're divorced and they're going to men's groups and they're like, hell no, I don't want to be a provider. Like I'm just trying to heal myself and work on my own issues. And so that could be a trigger when they hear king. You know, I totally understand. They see it as this responsibility that they don't even want. I heard one man, and he's a leader in the world. He's a doctor, and he was saying like, why is everybody talking about kings? He was like, I don't think. He's like, I don't want to be a king. And this is a man who's very much in power. He has a lot of power and he's a leader. And he was saying like, I'd rather be like a tavern owner or like a bartender, a barkeep or something. He's like, that would be a role I'd want to play more than a king. And then I heard one man, he commented on my post that he would rather be an emperor. He likes the word emperor. So there's all kinds of different opinions out there. You could also say that we're not even in an age of kings right now, that we're actually in an age of magicians, because it is the age of AI, technology, information age. And, magicians don't really, I feel that magicians don't really focus on legacy as much. They don't think about their grandkids. You don't see a bunch of magicians sitting around talking about family like you would kings. So we're just in a different time right now too. Maybe king just seems out of place to some people. So it's important to consider that we are talking about archetypes. We're not talking about like literal king. That even blows my mind that some people actually think that. But I guess it has to be said. We're talking about the king archetype. And Archetypes are transpersonal. They're bigger than you. They are just patterns in the collective, like in the collective unconscious. So they're patterns that we've received even as children. We've been receiving these patterns in stories and myth and movies, and just they've been culturally passed down for a long, long, long time. So the meaning that you make out of king is going to really depend on what lineage are you looking at in the collective unconscious. Like, are you feeling into the Egyptian kings? Are you feeling into it as like a lineage of tyrants and greedy kings who started wars? Are you feeling into maybe like Native American history, culture, and chiefs? Um, how do you view masculine leadership in general? I mean, essentially, the root of the king archetype is the father. So if you have a problem with kinghood, there could be something to look at around fatherhood for you. Okay, so for something to be archetypal, it has to have a common pattern. So whether it's a good king or a bad king, there's still going to be this king archetype. They're going to carry the same pattern, which is order, law, like a code, whether that's an inner code or a code for the society. And then there's this like expansion principle, right? Because the kings expand their empire or their kingdom. So there's this like generative prosperity kind of principle of creating prosperity, growing something, you could say. But yeah, expanding territory. So in modern times, this could play out as in a material way, just strictly physical, like money, property, cars, houses, or it could be more spiritual, like creating legacy, expanding a legacy for your family, or even just generating like an internal empire of inner wealth, like just peace. Wherever you go, you touch people with this happiness and peace, and that's kingly because you have this graciousness about you. You've developed it internally. You have an inner code. So you see how you can take the king pattern, the archetype, and give it to two different men, and you'll get two different outcomes because it's based on the man, not the archetype. It's the man who's responsible. So if you find yourself getting annoyed by the king, it actually could mean that you're actually living out the shadow king, because that's what we do when something really, really triggers us and we don't face it, we don't face that trigger, then it has power over us. So if you get pissed off when you see somebody mentioning kings or modern day kings and masculinity, then actually means that you've stuffed that in the shadow for yourself. And then that means that, great, well, that has total power over you now. So the shadow king, which is the tyrant, you could be living as a tyrant and not even really know it. Yeah, even with my clients, it's, the king, I'm not sitting there trying to turn men into the king. Like, it's not some costumey thing. Like, let's change you into a king. It's literally just us inquiring. We're using inquiry to find out his relationship to the king archetype. And then we're going through it with the gene keys, which is my method. I use the gene keys, which goes about kinghood four ways through legacy, um, his greatest life's challenge, his vitality, and then his core authority. So we just go into those four keys and to activate more awareness and more of his own wisdom. So it's not about trying to turn men into kings. It's about holding space for men while they reckon with the king archetype, ideally so he can create something worthwhile for him and his loved ones while he's here on this earth. All right, that's all I got today. Thank you.